Hello, my name is Bill Richardson. I'm a full-time hermit and a part-time writer of parlor poetry. By parlor poetry, I mean that kind of poetry that is suffused with the stuff of the Victorian age, but written in the here and now. So rather than being scented with, say, potpourri made of rosebuds and geranium, it's more marijuana and garlic scented. The last book I published was a collection of poems about being old, about growing old, write about what you know. It's called The First Little Bastard to Call Me Gramps, and it's just chock-a-block with improving verses, such as one called The Gentleman's Oracle, which goes, "Tell me, O wise one, tell me, I pray, tell me when old age begins. It begins on the morning your mirror discloses your scrotum and face are now twins." Now, each one is more regenerative than the one that went before. Because a hermit wouldn't be here, but a writer of parlor poetry might be, it's in this part-time capacity that I'm with you tonight, and thanks very much to the Walrus for the invitation. I went to Wikipedia, as one does, and I looked up quality of life, and I was intrigued to read about the Popsicle Index, which is a quality of life measure in communities. And the Popsicle Index, which is the invention of Catherine Austin Fitts, essentially says, go into a community and ask this question: how many people feel it would be safe for a child in this community to walk to the store to buy a popsicle and then return home again unharmed? And if 50% think that's a likelihood, then the Popsicle Index is 50%. Of course, one aspires to a Popsicle Index of 100%. Now, I thought that I would apply this Popsicle Index to the quality of life for people about my age. We've been hearing about some of the factors of aging. And I thought, what if you called it the grandpopsicle index? And what would the question be? You see, I mean, amongst my friends, when we talk about getting older, we whistle in the dark about some of the things, like forgetfulness, for instance. All those jokes that you make about brain farts or seniors' moments, and we all experience them, and we joke about them. But there is, of course, the sense there's a fear involved in this as well. You know, you wonder, okay, is this actually symptomatic? Is this the beginning of something rather grimmer? But joking is why I'm here. And so with the grandpopsicle index, what would it ask? Well, I guess it might ask, what percentage of you can go to the store to buy a popsicle and then remember when you're at the store that you're there to buy a popsicle? Or else, go to the store to buy a popsicle and remember what a popsicle is called. So this is the grandpopsicle index. It is an improving verse. On a recent hot day in the middle of May, I repaired to the corner store. A Korean family is running it now. They know me. I've gone there before for milk or for cat food or cigarettes maybe I smoke now and then on the sly. Or that toilet tissue that toughens your tushy with sandpaper rough single ply. The weather was warm, as I've already noted, which led to the unforeseen thaw of the glacier called childhood, revealing a mammoth, and stuck in its great gaping maw was a popsicle stick, yes, a popsicle stick on its tongue, a Proustian trigger for memories that figure in summers of once being young. We'd shine up the Chevy or lop off the lawn in exchange for a fistful of dimes, then purchase our popsicles, typically orange or grape or else cherry or lime. Now this was half a century back, when none of our folks had invested a second of worry in wondering whether their progeny might be molested. We would skip all alone to the store and back home. Not once did they think us imperiled. We were kids being kids. We were out of the house. We were sowing our oats. We were feral. On that recent hot day in the middle of May, to that mom and pop market I went, reflecting the while on the Popsicle Index, which once hit 100%. The sunshine was bright, I was feeling all right. No forebodings of imminent dark. I nodded hello to the till-minding matriarch, pious Evangeline Park. She was reading, as always, the Bible, and looking, as always, exceedingly glum. She stared at me sternly. I felt myself squirming and trying to think why I'd come. I hadn't popped in for a neighborly chinwag, no doubt could there be about that. Evangeline's profile on Tinder, I'm certain, does not include chewing the fat. I'd come with a purpose, I'd come on a mission, I'd come with a purchase in mind. But what the hell was it? I couldn't remember. Around about 60, one finds forgetfulness forges a menacing maelstrom. You turn in its widening gyre, your best before date flashing red on your forehead, conveying the message, expired. On that recent hot day in the middle of May, I stood there a sweat-dotted geezer. In danger of fainting, I muttered, "Excuse me," and plunged my head deep in the freezer. By frost overwrought, just like Franklin or Scott, I was frantic like poor Willie Loman. Evangeline shrugged and returned to perusing the letters of Paul to the Romans, or to the Corinthians, possibly. All I can tell you for certain is how I desperately clutched at a Häagen-Dazs bar and applied it to cool down my brow. And that was the moment my childhood resurfaced, and with it the longing to lick the frozen confection of fruit-flavored sugar and water congealed in a stick. I looked and I stared in that crystalline air, going certain I'd surely expire, unless all those surges of long-suppressed urges could merge with the thing I desired. The thing I desired was, what is it called? That longing would not be deferred. My face was all red and all hoary my head, and I bellowed like Richard III, "I'd give all my kingdom for..." No, not a horse, for a doodad, a thingamabob, a whatchamacallit, oh help, what's the word? I trembled and choked back the sobs. On that recent hot day in the middle of May, Evangeline Park heaved a sigh. She bookmarked her Bible and said, "Can I help you?" I figured I'd give it a try. "You don't seem to carry those thingies, those gizmos." She peered at me, clearly suspicious. "They fit in a stick, and they're flavored with fruit, and you lick them and suck them. Delicious." Evangeline's frown lines grew deeper and deeper. She nodded with grim understanding. She chose a direction we made for the section discreetly inscribed family planning. I knew by her look that each step that we took left a footprint in moral erosion. We stopped and we stayed by a daunting display labeled Ramses and Durex and Trojans. "Flavored like fruit," said Evangeline, searching, evincing no trace of the merry. "This one is bubble gum, this one is mint, so I guess that it's got to be cherry." What could I answer but perfect? I bought them and tried not to blanch at the charge. It's true though I winced when Evangeline snorted at seeing me choose extra large. Well, such are the wages one earns as one ages while scaling the summit called old. And popsicles? Hell, I just make them at home using ultra-thin double-ribbed molds.